Welcome to the Reality of Herbal Therapy Podcast, episode 56. In today's episode, I'm going to talk about getting out into the sun. But before we begin, we want to inform you of our disclaimer. Do not feel that by listening to this podcast that we have dispensed medical advice to you or have given you the ability to treat yourself or others with this information. We do not directly or indirectly dispense medical advice or prescribe the use of herbs as a form of treatment for sickness without medical approval. It's not the intent of this podcast to diagnose or prescribe. The intent is only to offer herbal information from the herbalist's point of view, only for your consideration. In the event you use this information without your doctor's approval, you are prescribing for yourself, which is your God-given right. But the publisher and authors assume no responsibility. So this is Jim again. How you guys doing? It's good to be with you. Wanted to talk to you a little bit about sunlight and getting out into the sun. Now here in New Mexico, summertime coming up in here in like just a week. But right now, if you go outside in the afternoon, you're going to get sunburned. The sun is really intense. When Lynn likes to garden, and when you look at plants, plants will say full sun. Full sun means like 8 to 10 hours of sun. And here in New Mexico in the summertime, we get 18 to 19 hours of sun a day during the summer months. So there's a whole lot of sunlight happening. But a lot of people get, they're locked up inside, then they go out, go on vacation, get sunburns, and, there's all sorts of stuff. But I kind of want to talk about some ways you can use the sunlight to help you feel better. So I wanted to go with a story. So, while working with Dr. James, we rearranged offices and moved things around and stuff. And so they decided to put me in this bigger office space that was a lot larger and had more room. But the one drawback is it had no windows. And so I was in this much larger room, much larger space, had lots more room to do things, but no windows. And after a while, I kind of started getting cranky with working, and I didn't like it, and things got worse. And it came to a point where I was just like, I've had it. I'm done. There's just no light. It's like living in a cave or something. And I was really, really frustrated. And Veronica, Mom, said, well, what you need is a window. And it was kind of like, how's a window going to help the fact that I just can't stand being in that cave and just I can't stand it. So they bought this really big window. It's like, I'm looking at it right now. It's like, what is that? It's a 6-foot wide window. It's like this big picture window that they stuck in one of the walls. And it really made a difference. Now it's like, if that window is like, if there's a curtain in front of it or anything that blocks the light, I really can feel it. It's amazing how much having sunlight in the space that you're in can affect your mood. If you're somewhere where you can't get out and see the sun, if you can't see the daylight and stuff, it can really affect your mood. Like the office in town in Albuquerque, that we've got tinted windows because the light's really, really bright and it raises the heat in there really fast. But the light's filtered. You walk outside and there's an instant change in how you feel. So if you're in a place where you can't get out very much, or you can't see the sunlight, but you can get out, go outside, walk around. Some of the people in the places next to us, they get out and they'll walk around the building or something just to get that sunlight. So first thing that more sunlight does is really enhances your mood. Next thing that I wanted to share with you about sunlight is vitamin D. Now, quite often you hear about how sunlight on your skin is how our body makes vitamin D. But the interesting thing is that it turns some of the fats in our body, which is called cholesterol, into vitamin D. So basically you have to have cholesterol in your body to make vitamin D. But that's one way to reduce your cholesterol is get outside and get some more sun. And vitamin D has a whole list of what it does for our body. Basically, it's one of those vitamins that's essential to make things function in our body. And, it's interesting when you read about vitamin D, people are like, well, you can get it in milk or it's in supplements and things like that. But generally, the supplements still need the sunlight to activate them. So getting out in the sunlight will help your vitamin D in your body be more effective and work better. So if you are taking a vitamin D supplement, get sunlight. Like when you get the flu, and Dr. James would suggest taking large doses of vitamin D. If you can be where you can get sunlight at the same time, it makes it that much more effective. So vitamin D is really, really great for that. But vitamin D is also essential for calcium absorption. If there's not vitamin D in your body when you have when there's calcium, your body can't absorb it. So to absorb calcium, your body needs two other things. It needs vitamin D and it needs fat. If you're drinking milk, it has to be more than, 5%, I believe? So you have to have more than 5% fat in the milk in order to absorb the calcium that's in the milk, which is something to consider. But also, so by increasing your ability to absorb calcium, it helps your bones to be better, helps the muscles, it strengthens, makes your bones stronger and more resilient to breakage. It makes it more dense. What's that? Osteoporosis. Basically, your bone, when you get really old, your body isn't manufacturing as much vitamin D, and so that's how you get those porous bones. So getting sunlight really, really helps. Another thing that's really interesting is by being out in the sun and being around sunlight and getting more sunlight, it actually helps you sleep better. It activates certain parts of the brain for while you're awake that says, I'm awake right now. But it also helps the body with creation of melatonin and other things so that you can actually sleep when it's time to sleep. So getting out, getting the sunlight really makes a big difference in how your body functions. At the beginning, we talked a little bit about how here in New Mexico, like if you go out in the afternoon, you probably get a sunburn. At least for us really white boys like me, I get a sunburn really, really fast. So some things you can do to avoid a sunburn is there are certain hours of the day, basically from 10 to about 5, the sun is directly overhead, so you're getting the full brunt of all of the sunlight. The best time to go out and get sunlight is first thing in the morning. So basically within an hour of sunrise, go outside and spend some time. That's why getting out and gardening first thing in the morning, for the people that garden or have a yard and they work for the first hour of the day, that they're actually healthier because they're getting that indirect sunlight. It's not the full brunt. The UV rays that basically burn us, they need a more direct line. If they have to go around the curvature of the earth, they're not as strong and they're not as intense on your body, which causes the burns. So try and get outside for at least a half hour to an hour first thing in the morning. Start a garden, have a yard, go outside and play with the kids. For a while there, we had a porch off the front of our house, and we had breakfast out there every morning before it gets too far into the summer and it's really, really hot outside. But if you can get outside and do that first thing in the morning, it will actually help you sleep better. It helps increase the vitamin D in your body. It will help your mood. So I really encourage you to do that. If you have to be out later on in the day, a couple of things that we recommend is putting on coconut oil or shea butter or a mixture of the two. Some sunscreens actually have certain chemicals in them when they're hit with UV radiation. It blocks the UV radiation, but it also creates a chemical that can cause skin cancer. So we tend to encourage you to avoid sunscreens as much as possible. But shea butter is from a nut that grows in Africa, and basically it's a place on the earth where there's always direct sunlight and the people are always out in the sun. And the people in Africa that use the shea butter all the time are less prone to sunburns and other things when they cover their skin with the shea butter, but you're still getting the effects of the sun. So those are some ideas on how to get some more sun in your life. If you have any questions, let me know, and we will talk to you later.